everyone! Hello, welcome to this little video I've been planning to put up, folks, regarding some of the big news from E3 this year, and that is the announcement of Resident Evil 7, folks. I am the Black Shadow, and yeah, I've been wanting to put up this video for a few days. I've had quite a few comments on various videos on the channel regarding the news from from E3 about Resident Evil 7 and its planned for release for, I believe, some point early next year, I think is the idea, something like that. Now, just to let you know, the final video for the Resident Evil Revelations campaign will be also going up later tonight, in a few hours or so is the idea. But I did want to take an opportunity to address the various comments I've had on my thoughts on Resident Evil 7. I haven't really been able to do that very much with doing all the night stuff and that sort of thing that I'm doing at the moment. So where do we start, folks? Well, it has been very interesting seeing some of the general feedback from on various videos. I have seen the reveal trailer that was released at E3, and also a demo of Resident Evil 7, like a beta demo, really, was also released on PlayStation 4. And whilst I'm not able to actually access it and play it myself, I have seen I have seen some footage from the demo itself. I have seen it a couple of times actually, and it is very interesting hearing what a lot of people say. Unfortunately, there has been quite a mixed reaction to the demo, which, to be honest, I get the feeling that it wouldn't really matter what on earth Capcom did. I think anything they do with the title Resident Evil on it is going to get a mixed reaction, folks. I'll just let that one settle for you. But yeah, I think it's... I can understand where some of this criticism is coming from. Now, we all know that there was a lot of backlash on Resident Evil regarding Resident Evil 5, especially Resident Evil 6. Again, still not played it, but about the direction that the series went. This is why, you know, with the Revelations games, there has been more of a focus to try and not necessarily return the game to its original roots, but kind of try and go in that sort of direction, you know, try and drop a bit of this action and try and regain some of the atmosphere and the mystery that the series has certainly lost over the years. And it's very easy to tell that Resident Evil 7, or at least the demo that we've seen, is a very clear attempt to push that boundary even further. Now, I must admit, even when first thing I thought when I saw the reveal trailer was Silent Hill. Alright, now I know a fair few people have drawn this comparison. I was the first thing I thought when I saw the reveal trailer, was it felt very Silent Hill-y. Now, you can take that as a positive or a negative. I think it's obvious that Capcom are trying to find something that they know that they've lost over the years, by getting dragged along this general great gaming trend of doing more things, doing more quicker, and not waiting around anymore. You know, almost every game series you can think of is guilty of this. Resident Evil is no exception. But the problem I do have is that I am concerned that Capcom are trying to be something that they're not necessarily are. They're trying to find something which they know they don't have, and they know that the series is the worst without it. But I think that the demo itself is trying to be something which it's not really meant to be. You know, Silent Hill and Resident Evil are completely different entities. We know this from the LPs I've done on both games. They are completely different entities. And if Capcom's intention is to try and turn Resident Evil 7 into some sort of Silent Hill hybrid, I think that's certainly not a very good direction to take. It's not going to sell, and it would have to be, it would have to basically work really well, or it's not going to at all. I think, to be fair to Capcom, the demo they did for Resident Evil 7 is a bit of a test. I think that I don't think it's going to be representative of what Resident Evil 7 the game will be. Certainly, I don't think that's the idea. You know, they're trying to show off, you know, a new game, you know, sort of this fancy-looking game engine. There's the, you know, and to be fair with that, there are some nice little details within the demo itself. I'll talk about a bit. You know, I don't know how many of you guys have seen the demo, but you should certainly have a look at some footage of it. I won't recap it. But there is some nice features, certainly. You know, I think there's like, you know, there's the scene during the game where you get you find the videotape and you put it into a VCR. Of course, people still using VCR recorders in 2017 as the game is set. Didn't know they still existed. But in any event. So yeah, and it's quite a nice little feature that you have this sort of little sort of flashback sort of scene almost, recapping how the group got into the house. And it's nice that it isn't just you sitting there watching it, you actually have an interactive part in it, and you actually play the role of the cameraman. I think Clancy, I think his name is, or something like that. And I think that's quite a nice touch, you know, so it's kind of like almost like an interactive sort of rolling cutscene, which you can, of course, different people will view in different ways. It's not obvious to begin with that you actually control the character, but it's a nice touch nonetheless. There's also, you know, some interesting little fun and games with some of the graphics engines of the game. That's for sure. You know, and to be fair, if it had been, it's a weird one. You see, if you'd have had this exact same demo come out, the exact same game, the exact same, you know, have multiple endings, that sort of thing, the atmosphere. And if you'd have changed the word Resident Evil and instead put the words Silent Hill on it, I bet you it'd have had a completely different reaction. And unfortunately, this is the problem that Capcom have. You know, I wouldn't say the series name has been tarnished. I don't think that's fair. But certainly, the perception of Resident Evil is struggling. That's partly Capcom's fault for mismanaging the series, and it is also the problem in that what the series was and the game style that the series was, it is kind of old-fashioned now. It doesn't compute very well with modern day trends. It's just one of those things, you know. And as I say, as much as, you know, I know we all love it, but unfortunately, it is a situation where if you were to bring out, you know, like a new Resident Evil game, and you would have like the tank-like controls and the inventory systems of the old games, I think hardcore fans of the series would absolutely love it, you know, and they think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But it wouldn't work mainstream because it's just, you know, it wouldn't work like that. You'd have to do something to change it, and unfortunately there's no real happy medium for this, you know, to bring in a Resident Evil game like that. But I am digressing a little bit on that point. My overall feeling of the demo is that, you know, and the reveal, what I've seen so far is that I am certainly interested to know more. I am pretty convinced that what we have seen is not going to be a fair reflection on what to expect from Resident Evil 7, the game. Obviously, the fact that, you know, that the characters that we see in the game and the situation in the game is not going to be, you know, are not the people that we're going to be using in the main game for reasons obvious in the demo. But you know, I think it's a case of let's see what else they come out with. I know the reaction to the demo has been mixed, but at least it's not been completely negative. I think there's certainly some positives to take from the game. I think, you know, it was a nice atmosphere, you know, to just sit and watch. And I think if I'd had the chance to play the game, I know I would have enjoyed it, certainly. But I know in the back of my mind that Resident Evil 7 is not going to look like the demo that we've just seen and played, folks, because that game, you wouldn't. It's not a Resident Evil game per se, you know. It's not I don't think it's a complete reflection of what the game will be. And you know, I see some of the comments, you know, saying, you know, complaining, saying, you know, this demo wasn't quite what I expected. But I think the point has to be made, folks. when we heard Resident Evil 7 was coming out and we heard there was going to be a demo, what exactly did we expect? Something to ponder, maybe. But yeah, I'm gonna give the you know, so far I'm gonna hold my judgment on this. I'm gonna give it the sort of, you know, thumbs in the middle, if you will. I'll wait to see what more comes out for Resident Evil 7. And certainly by then I'll be off my night shift work and I'll be able to actually be a bit more proactive. I've had to rely on the information coming through fed to me. Thanks again to Lady Panda 13 as well. It's been keeping me in the loop at E3 whilst I've been busy slaving away. And yeah, we shall see how this situation develops. So that's my little editorial. I'd love to hear what you guys think as well. I'm sure a lot of you, you know, several of you have asked me about it. I'm sure a lot of you have got opinions on the game and the reveal and what you think Resident Evil 7 might be, what you hope it to be when it comes out in 2017. So please do put your comments down. I'd love to respond to them, and to be honest, probably everyone else will as well. You know, it'd be very interesting to see what some of you guys think of it as well. So thank you for listening to this little video. The finale for Resident Evil Revelations will be going up in a few hours or so. But until then, folks, So thank you for listening. I look forward to your comments, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta for now.